Hi YouTube, and welcome to another video. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and a like, and we will get to the word of the Lord, which we're still in Genesis, and then I will show you the project that I came to show you. We're going to start at Genesis chapter 2 verse 8, and we're going to read to verse 10. And it reads as, Then the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he placed the man he had made. The Lord God made all sorts of trees grow up from the ground, trees that were beautiful and that produced delicious fruit. In the middle of the garden he placed the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed from the land of Eden, watering the garden and then dividing it into 4 branches. That is the word of the Lord today, Genesis chapter 2, verses 8 through 10. We will continue in Genesis on the next video, but now I will show you the project that I came to show you. So, I did a little snippet. I don't know if a lot of people saw it. I think it only has like 5 views, but we did Dash the Dino. So this is my first Amigurumi. I'm going to do like Jenna does. Jenna from Jenna's Crochet. Hug check. Him little arms not long enough to really do a hug check, but hug check. But this is Dash. He was my first Amigurumi, and he was a challenge. I am not an amigurumi maker yet, but I did want to get started. I think back in the end of last year, I showed you guys this book that I bought, which is Mamamademini's, which is Knotted Lovies. But I think I didn't do Mamamademini's no justice, because this is, let's see, this I made Dash the Dino. I struggled with Dash the Dino. I went to a crochet class. I went to my local knit shop. It's mostly knit, but they do a little crochet in there. And I took a class on Saturday, and thank goodness that I did, because there was no way that I would have been able to get as far as I did without the help of the woman in the knit shop that helped me. So at first I started out with it says start the head with the L and then do the body in start the head with the 7mm, which this says it's a MM, and then this number 8 says it's an L. So we don't really have 7mm hooks in America that we normally use that I know of, but I think this came in a set from Hobby Lobby. But I tried to start with this, and I could not see the stitches. This was the color that I wanted to do the dinosaur in, and I wanted this body color to be the spikes, but I just could not see the stitches working with this yarn. And then I even switched to my bigger hook to do it, but it still was such a challenge. So she told me to switch yarns and start with the lighter color yarn, and I still struggled to see those stitches. Fluffy yarn, if you're not used to working with it, it is really, really hard to see the stitches. So although I completed Dash the Dino, he is sewn together all some kind of crazy, because this, you have to sew all the pieces. So first I made his head, and then you had to turn him upside down and find some stitches and do his body, which for me, that wasn't good. I don't know if you could tell, but him head is kind of a little twisted, and it ain't on correctly. So then I got his little body. Then you split him in half, which I'm sure I didn't split him in half correctly. And then you did his leg, and continued to do his leg. And then you fastened off and went to do his other leg. Then you did his arms, which I don't think they're even, but hey, I did the best I could. Then you do his spikes, I think it told you to do next, or maybe it was a tail, but I didn't realize until it was too late that the tail was supposed to be the same color as the body. And so when I went to sew on the spikes and I got down to the tail, because it's supposed to have 3 more little spikes, I noticed that the spikes in the tail were the same color, which it was not supposed to be. But I said, well, Dash, you get no spikes on your tail. So him little spikes that I did sew on are all kinds of crooked. They are all kind of crooked because I need a no-sew amigurumi, because you can tell right here, these are like just so out of line. These two might be in line a little bit, but I think this one should have been up a little bit, and then this one should have been maybe up 1. I did have to sew on his arms, and I think one of his arms, like this one, I think is longer than this one, because trying to see the stitches, it was a challenge, and I think I didn't stuff his head enough. His head should have been stuffed a little bit more, but you know what? I'm grateful that I was able to finish it, and I knotted his little legs, and I think one of his little legs is longer than the other one. But I'm grateful that I was able to finish Dash, but I don't know if I would try him again for a while. Maybe I will try him again, but with some different yarn, maybe a yarn that I will be able to see the stitches, because I was stabbing in the dark trying to find these stitches for this, because I am not used to working with this yarn, because once you put a stitch in, you can't even see it after that. So I'm happy we finished him. Him got some little eyes. And when I was working on him, I'm just learning how to read crochet patterns. I've been crocheting since I was 7 years old. I'll be 62 in 3 weeks. But I never read a pattern. So I've only made blankets, hats, scarves. I've taken crochet classes before where teachers have helped me to make the stitch that I want, or they was teaching a stitch or a blanket in a store or something. Like we had a Ben Franklin's where I used to live, and so I used to take classes there. But it was a quilt hanging, a blanket hanging in the store, and I said I want to learn that. The teacher teaches it to you, but there, you didn't need to read the pattern. But now I'm trying to learn to read patterns, especially if I'm going to do amigurumi. You need to know how to read the pattern. So I'm learning. But here's my Dash the Dino. And I don't know what I'm going to do with Dash, because Dash is a hot mess. But me and my little hot mess Dash, we're gonna hang out together. And my tail, once I got the round to be bigger than from the beginning, like it started out with 6 single crochets, and then as it got bigger, I think I was able to see the stitches a little bit more. I'm not sure why that is, but it was better. But him tail not sewn on correctly, so I think I'm going to try some smaller amigurumis. I'm going to do some tutorial patterns, or I'm going to try some by All from Jade, I think her name is. I think I'm going to try some of those, or try some of the ones that are no-sew and see how that does. But I think I'm going to, I bought this yarn a long time ago. This was the original yarn that I bought to try to learn amigurumis. and then they stopped selling it. This was some Big Twist Posh yarn. It's not as fluffy as this one. It looks a little smoother. So I think I'll try to see if I can do something with these yarns and see how it works out now that I've done Dash the Dino. So that's all I have to show you today. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. You have an awesome and an amazing day. Be blessed, my friends. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and show me your first amigurumi if you're an amigurumi, or give me some tips and tricks on how I can sew stuff on correctly. But thank you for watching. God bless. You have an awesome and an amazing day. Be blessed, my friends. Bye-bye.